Well, welcome guys to another episode of Fishing for Beginners. I'm going to talk about your first tackle box and the essentials that you should have inside of it. The first thing is definitely getting yourself an actual box so that you can store everything. Little boxes, double-sided, open up multiple compartments. Even the bigger ones, for example, they pop open on both sides just like the smaller one. You could even get into the classic, larger tackle box, but I would recommend something more like this for your first tackle box. It's always a good idea definitely to have line with you. I've got two different kinds of line right here. One is a 12-pound so that you can re-spool a trout rod. The other is a smaller 6-pound to be used as some leader. Another thing to have inside the tackle box is a way to weight down your line. There's many different types of weights, from cannonball weights to rubber coated cannonball weights. There's egg weights which slide on the line. You've got split shot weights that just simply pinch right onto the line. You've got teardrop weights, which is a lot like a cannonball weight but more teardrop shape, and they come in all different kinds of sizes and arrangements. Just get yourself some kind of weight to be able to weight down your fishing line. I definitely recommend for beginners like the pinch weights, like the split shot, or even the egg weight that slides on the line. Next, of course, we have to have hooks inside our tackle box to be able to hook some fish. There's two that I would recommend having inside of a beginner tackle box. You've got your classic bait style hook. They can also come in many different sizes, from these guys here all the way down to even the super tiny little hooks. Get kind of a medium range, something that could maybe go onto a night crawler. Then there's also the treble hook, which has 3 different prongs on it. Same thing, these come in multiple different sizes. Again, I would go something more in that medium to smaller range as you begin to start out. Another thing that we're going to need in the tackle box is a couple of swivels, and this is basically just a rotating piece that allows you to tie on each side a line or a lure, a leader, anything like that. They come in all different kinds of sizes. These are called barrel swivels. And then there's also clip swivels. So it is a barrel style swivel, but it has a clip on the end of it. And this will actually let you be able to clip lures on and off really easily. And it also rotates so the lure won't twist the line. But you definitely got to have some swivels inside of the tackle box. A few other essentials is definitely maybe a few different bobbers. They come in all different shapes and sizes, but having at least a bobber or a couple of bobbers in your tackle box is going to help. You see fish maybe jumping on the surface and rising, and that might be a good opportunity to fish the top and use maybe a bobber. You've got your classic white and red. This is more of like a pencil bobber, sits upright like this. Another example of a pencil bobber is just a little bit taller, and then this one is a lot like the original red guy. Just squeeze it to put it on. Working up from there, that's pretty much our what we call terminal tackle, the absolutely have-to-haves. From there, I would definitely recommend the actual thing that you're going to use to catch the fish. So that can be things like bait. A good power bait or dough bait is always good for trout. Sometimes you can catch bass on them, as well as like some salmon eggs. Potskis makes a whole bunch of different brands, for example, and these are good things to have if you want to bait fish on the bottom underneath of a bobber. Either way, but these are tried and true methods for beginners that have passed the test of time. You may also want to throw a couple of plastics, like a fake worm or two, inside the tackle box. This can be good if you see bass or a warm water panfish, but it's a good thing to have maybe just a couple of those. Then of course maybe some lures, right? So there's so many different types of lures, from lipped lures, stick bait, which is basically this Rapala here, kind of longer stick-shaped crankbaits. I definitely recommend that one of your choices be a spinning lure. So this guy just simply sits there and spins, and it attracts the fish as you're reeling it in. And then maybe even like a spoon style, like this guy right here. It flashes back and forth, and and it attracts fish. Spoons definitely work. The last little couple essentials that I would definitely throw in, you know, if you're a beginner, regulations usually state how big a fish can be, so a ruler is not a bad idea to have around. Pliers are going to be a good one so that you can easily remove hooks from fish's mouths. You can pick up one of these really cheap. They're about like $1 or $2, and this is a hook remover, so you just slip the line inside of it and swoop it down inside the fish's mouth, and it detaches the hook really easily. Scissors would be another good bet so that you can cut line. Fishing can be frustrated sometimes and you're out in the backcountry, so maybe even just a bottle of aspirin would be a good bet. You know, I bet that if you guys enjoyed this, then you're going to enjoy this video right here. Definitely go and check that out.